There actually was a whole decade that I was immersed
Uh-huh.
in a kind of a multiple keyboard integration of classical rock, jazz, and funk and electronic music. It started in the late 60s, around 67, 68, well before there were any kind of polyphonic synthesizers around, or even portable monophonic ones. It was maybe just as the ARP 2600 was coming out. Mainly it was Moog synthesizers, patch chords and stuff. And I got engineers to build me modules and things and ring modulators, and I gradually put together a rig that looked like a 747 cockpit. I mean, 6 different keyboard instruments, stacks at right angles to each other, miles of chords and foot switches and foot pedals. It took 6 hours to tear this thing down from my studio, load it onto a truck, take it to the gig, play the gig, and then 6 hours to undo it. But I loved it, and for about 10 years, this was the way I performed and recorded. I did several albums of this kind of stuff, and it actually was at the time of my leave-taking with Columbia Records. They didn't want to embark on this particular journey with me. I can't blame them, because it didn't have much commercial potential at all. So I put out the first album of it myself on Double Helix Records. And so for about 10 years I was doing a lot of that kind of work, and that period really culminated with this Invasion of the Body Snatchers score in '78. So it was about a 10-year period.
Yeah.
And when that was over, I not only had enough of movie scores, I had a hunger for the purity of acoustic music. And for many years I did almost no electronics at all, just acoustic piano in various contexts. And it's only in this last year that I'm currently involved in a very interesting project with a synthesist and a recorder, a recording studio guy named Pat Gleason. Very talented guy. He was, you may remember, it was the first synthesist to go on the road with a jazz group with Herbie.
Right, yeah.
And so Patrick and I have known each other for a long time. Back in the '60s, he was the guy who first told me to take this chord and plug it here when I wanted to learn what a Moog synthesizer was about. So we're doing a project together, just totally on spec, which is kind of a piano concerto orchestral format where the orchestra is synthesized. And we're having a ball. So it's my first big foray back into electronics in many years.